It makes it a little bit easier to talk. How's everybody doing? It is such a beautiful day. Yes, it is. Let's get this party started. It's Afro Economics Live. I am JB Bryan. Thank you, Miss Davis. Thank you, Star. Y'all hanging out with me in the studio. I love it. I love it. Wednesday night. I feel good. I think that the comments are going to work tonight. Sunday, the comments wouldn't work, so please feel free to make your comments and it will definitely let me know that the comments are working. Yeah. I see you, Snoopy D from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let me know it's working. How you doing, Mike Rob? So good to see you. We are ready. Tonight we're talking about the big bank, the biggest bank in the world, the biggest bank in the world. We just don't think about it. Our Federal Reserve Bank. It is. It's the mama. It's the big mama bank, the world's most powerful bank. I didn't even think that up myself. I have seen that written. It's an amazing bank, and I haven't. I don't know. I don't think. And I've been doing these workshops for a long time. Blessings back at you, Miss Denise Gordon Hayes. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I I have not. I don't think I have. Like maybe in one of our members only, but I haven't done a Wednesday night talking about the Federal Reserve and a technical topic like this. And for 2022, I want to challenge us. You know, especially now, I keep seeing like all these different promotions now. We are about money and financial empowerment all year long. This is not a New Year's resolution for Afro economics. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle, right, Star?
Yes,
it's,
yes.
it's a lifestyle indeed. Thank you so much. I and that's what I love. Look at the that's funny. I'm trying different ways of us going up here. Right, Miss Davis? Afro economics is a lifestyle, not a New Year's decision on on oh, I'm going to get my money straight. I keep seeing, especially on social media, all these different
Correct.
advertisements. Have y'all seen it? About five things that you can do. And I saw this interesting one. It was about four things that people can do over 40 to build their wealth. And I was like, I wonder, I would love to see how they're going to market that as it's specifically things that only people over 40 need to do. I was like, there's not a thing as a registered investment advisor. There's not a thing that I can tell a person over 20 to do that's not also applicable to a person over 40. Even look, even over 10. If they're making money, we all have some things that we need to be doing. We need to be doing some smart things. So let's not get caught up in the advertisement of it, and let's really continue to buy into your commitment, ladies and gentlemen, of your financial success and following those 10 principles of Afro economics. And Wednesday night is all about the knowledge principle, because we need to have an understanding of the banking system, the monetary system of the United States. The majority of us that are watching, are in the US. So, and even if you're not in the US, you appreciate this type of information. So, Key terms that I want us to make sure that we accomplish. If you don't pick up anything else out of tonight's discussion, Mr. Jenkins, good evening to you. Yes, indeed. I can help you with that, Ms. Hayes. So she wants to set up a nonprofit. That's what our entrepreneurship membership of Afro Economics is all about, and help you, get started on some key things to build a successful, profitable business or a nonprofit. And even sometimes it's good to talk to me. It's always good to talk to me prior to deciding on what entity that you're going to develop. So that's it. But yes, I'm here for you. Sign up for membership. My office will immediately give you a call and get us started on your first meeting. The so let's look up at quantitative. When I was saying there's some terms I want to make sure that you take with you tonight. Quantitative tightening versus quantitative easing. Quantitative, so they might call it QE, quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. Those are some things that we're going to discuss, but you might not hear me say that over and over again. But I want to make sure that you'll understand that quantitative tightening is a monetary policy that is used by the Federal Reserve to decrease the amount of money supply that's out here in the economy. And then quantitative easing would be the opposite, when they want to increase the amount of money that's out in circulation. So now, when even prior to COVID, but especially in March of 2020, there was a movement towards which one? Quantitative easing. You want to ease quantitative easing. Quantitative easing, because they wanted to put more money out there. They wanted to make us feel better. They wanted to make businesses feel that everything is okay and they can continue to grow and they can get access to money as needed, as easy as possible. And that's how you saw that even when we're in a pandemic, boom, all of a sudden, there was still I'm gonna allow your comments to come up even closer to me, so I won't have to pull over. Yes, indeed. Great. Well, you just make sure you do. So quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, and then we can talk even more about that when we have our one-on-one meetings. But it's about your personal financial goals and what the government and what government is doing, that and how it's going to impact your personal financial goals. That's the only reason that we have to have this discussion. That I want you to look at the big picture of the economy. At the same time, what does that have to do with me on the for me uniquely? So I have the privilege of focusing on you individually. But the government has the responsibility of trying to make moves that look out for all of us. So sometimes it's looked at as if here it is, they're making these, they're reducing interest rates. Who is that helping? Is that really helping the little guy? Who are they looking out for with lowering interest rates, when you don't feel the impact of how that is actually helping you? Um so when when a, and, and that's a big complaint, like that many people that participate in the government are, and Congress has that challenge of, okay, here you are flooding all this money with quantitative easing. You're allowing the Federal Reserve to continue to flood the marketplace with money, but who is it helping? It's helping the corporate community, but the average individual may not even own any stocks. So the stock market is taking off, but the average person isn't participating in Afro economics like they should. So I have to support that the in order to that if a person has been watching and discussing all these years that I've been doing Afroeconomics, and hopefully they have caught on that the government does a fantastic job of looking out for the interests of corporate America. But if you're not buying a part of it, or if you're not starting your own business, then you're not really seeing the impact of what really helps this country move forward, because it is business and enterprise. So when you saw the pandemic, when you saw the pandemic happen, and all of a sudden they said, whoa, we have to make more money available, we have to do this PPP. Who was that for? That was an instant. All of a sudden they said, we can't just help out big business, we have to make sure that we help out other businesses also that still need to take care of payroll. So the people who misunderstood the point of the payroll, the payroll protection plan, that was PPP. That's what it was for, to make sure that you can pay your payroll, and because part of your payroll is to pay the United States government. The payroll is, you have a responsibility to withhold the taxes for your employee, and withhold and also match their tax withholding. So if they're in the when you're in the PPP, they said you don't have to pay this back if you're actually helping the economy. If you're actually helping the economy and making sure that people are staying on your payroll, you don't have to pay this back. But if you are not understanding the point of this loan, and you're using it for just yourself, then you know then you're going to have to pay it back and could face huge penalties for that. But the point was, the federal government and the Fed got together and said, we're going to create more access to money to keep the economy going. So now all of a sudden we have all that money out there, but we don't have all of the things to make products. So it created what? When you have people with money and people want to buy things, but you don't have anything to buy, but you've got this money, what does that create? Hmm, that creates the inflation. That at this point right now, we have, a higher demand than we have a supply of things to purchase. So people want to buy cars, but there's limited number of cars. So what do? They increase the price of the car because there's not that many for you to buy. People want to buy a house, but there's not that many homes built. So what do? They increase the demand because the demand is high, but the supply is limited. And they don't have people to work construction. They said construction industry has like 300,000
Bill,
off. Like they need like over 300,000
you know,
workers for
so what are
construction in order,
the main?
you know what I mean?
The,
So that they
the
can
demand is
build the buildings that they want. So we're not realizing that the federal government has the goal, and the Federal Reserve has the goal and responsibility to control inflation, and at the same time it's got to look out for employment. So now we have unemployment under control in a way. Like the unemployment numbers are great, but that doesn't mean that there's not a whole bunch of people out of work, correct? They just cut the benefits. They just cut the benefits, so there's people that aren't coming back to work. So so our economy really cannot perform at full steam because we don't have the people working in order to create the products and provide the services so that people can spend that money that the Federal Reserve flushed into the market. so, so you've got all that out there, and so then we have these inflationary numbers. So now the Federal Reserve has said, well, we're going to tighten. So that they moved into quantitative tightening. Now, back in the day before, and that anyone can correct, but I believe from what I have read, it suggests that the first time they started just flooding the market was back in 2008 with that great recession, when they started doing the quantitative easing, and they said that it's okay for you to just create money and go out there and buy up these mortgage securities that banks are making, so that we can put this money out there into the market. And then a whole bunch of people started doing the mortgage loans that they, before that, quantitative easing would not have been approved for. But the Fed said, we've got to get this money out here. But what did it do for the average person? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We ended up with people going into foreclosures and everything for the average person. But you had these financial institutions who made more money than ever turn into powerhouses because of a government move. So I was watching an interview, a good interview done on PBS. You should look it up, about the power of the Federal Reserve. And one of the past Federal Reserve heads, he said, "See, when I go talk to Congress, they don't complain about we're only helping rich people, because when they bring down these interest rates like this really helps support the stock market a lot." So you see a lot of people, since this pandemic, have become billionaires, and the billionaires have become multi-billionaires because the market has done so well. But their argument is, but the point of the Federal Reserve is not to make multi-billionaires. And he said, well, Congress doesn't complain about that. That's not Congress's complaint. Isn't that something? So the average person is like, well, you're out there increasing this wealth gap. I mean, well, the caring person is saying, and the PBS interview does a great job of showing that there's actually a whole bunch of professionals that are like, the Federal Reserve actually increased the wealth gap because of the moves that they're making are helping the rich people so much. But they're not doing anything really to help the average person. And even though they're saying they're helping people get jobs by helping businesses come up with all this money for free, just it's so cheap for a big business to borrow money because of the Federal Reserve easing like this. So they said, but this is what we have to do for them in order for them to hire people. But what is happening? They're not paying people enough. So so the government is not, yeah, the rich are getting richer. The government is not requiring that they who are getting these advantages increase the pay. So if you look at our incomes and pay over the last 10, 20 years, people really make less, especially if you're looking at the Black community. Adjusted for inflation, people are making less than they were 20 years ago in way too many homes. In way too many homes. But the employers and the stocks, and I mean, look, they said that, you know that Apple, the capitalization of Apple. So that means people are out there that own Apple stock are collectively worth over $3 trillion. Just that one company itself, during this pandemic, making those type of moves. And then they send out these little teeny money, the stimulus, and then more and more people buying AirPods, and they're not realizing, but where's your future going during this time? Can you really afford to buy the AirPods because you don't have anything saved for an emergency that is going to happen? Because what? They have to move towards quantitative tightening. So when they have quantitative tightening, what are going to happen to interest rates? And Powell, who is head of the Federal Reserve, has promised that over the next few years they're going to tighten. They're going to stop putting so much money into these investments and putting flooding and making money and creating money for financial institutions to get money to you. So they're going to stop that. So what? Interest rates are going to go up. Interest rates are going to go up. So then businesses are going to use that as an excuse to do what? Stop hiring, lower your pay. We can't afford to do that. You know, there haven't been, we still don't have a livable federal minimum wage based on living wage. We have a minimum wage, but we don't have a, a livable wage requirement by the federal government. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna let a livable wage is totally different than the minimum wage. And even if they increase the minimum wage, it's still not livable. And they have calculated the average living wage, you know, to be upwards over 50, at least over $15 an hour. So these are the things that we need to understand, that the Federal Reserve can do only but so much, because their attempt to actually help by easing and making more money available has really only helped larger institutions. I mean, I can't say only, but the largest impact of what they've done has not been able to trickle down and help the people whom the government was built to protect. Taxpayers. Taxpayers. So so that's just a brief look at quantitative easing and tightening. And the um let's so there's a phrase that I want us to make sure that you're aware of, and you might hear as we'll go through this period of the Federal Reserve becoming um, of more interest, because they're starting to increase interest rates and tighten their philosophy. So, Miss Charles, it's good to see you. Indeed, there's this phrase called "Don't fight the Fed." And I believe that. I'm in financial services. It is a very highly regulated industry. So that's what you'll see. Like, most of the people that you see, Mr. Jones, out here, they're not licensed, because they don't want to go through all of the regulations. But as a consumer, you are, protected, because you're more protected by having someone that is regulated and licensed as your advisor. I do feel that that is the case. And that's where the term came with "don't fight the Fed," because it is what it is. And I've noticed that, like, my thing is, if I get a notice that the new rules are XYZ, I'm doing XYZ. I'm not fight. I'm not fighting the Fed. Look, exactly. I know some of y'all work for the federal government. I'll see y'all shaking your head like, "Yep, don't fight the Fed. Don't, don't, don't." You know, because that is their responsibility. Like, they might miss it. They might miss some things, but they're doing their intention. I do believe that their intention is good. And I do believe that, because they are limited in what they can do once the entity gets the money that they're giving them, that's where I believe that Congress has a responsibility to take over. I think the Federal Reserve has the ability to, to control our money supply and rates, and regulating financial the banks and things. But they can't, you know what, they can't, to a greater degree, get involved in Are you making sure that the that home ownership is easier for the average person, or are you increasing your criteria, which I have seen happen over the years, where they're getting more and more, the financial institutions are getting more and more money from the government, and the government is being more lenient with them, but they're actually increasing the criteria of how what the person has to pay and do in order to get the money from them. That is so sad. That is so sad. So they've increased the criteria for the taxpayer, but the taxpayer has created a system that protects the bank and makes sure that they stay in business. Mm. And that's where we go to Congress, and we should say, we should say, like, this is an issue. This is an issue, and your particular representative should be thinking on this level, and we don't have this type of discussions on this level about all of this, the trillions of dollars that have been given out to business entities that are not doing anything to help the average worker have a better lifestyle. Ms. Murphy said her chicken wings are $27. I know that's right. She said, now that's inflation. Oh my goodness. That's like that should be like three whole chickens. That's probably four. I don't know. That's like, it depends on where you shop. You probably could get 10 whole chickens for that. Wow. I don't know. At least five whole chickens. That's something else. Nah. I would start freezing chicken wings now for the Super Bowl if your chicken wings cost that much. See? But indeed, we have to start really taking seriously every dollar that we spend. Are we wasting money? Are we defeating ourselves? So I go out of my way to make sure that I stay in tune with the Federal Reserve's outlook of how they're going to be moving forward over the next couple of years. And if they say that they're tightening, I know that I should expect some volatility in my equity portfolios, and to prepare the client accordingly, and make sure that if they're in the market, if they're in a portfolio that's going to have the type of volatility, like these interest rate threats and the Fed discussions have really created a large amount of volatility for your smaller companies, and the technology companies have had a lot of volatility. So I have to make sure, even before that, that the client is aware of the risk that's involved in their particular investment portfolio. Because finding that out later, that you have a lot of technology, is too late. We need to get in tune with what you have. Even if you have a mutual fund or an ETF, an exchange traded fund, and it doesn't show you what's in it, find out what's in it. Get a trusted financial advisor. Consider Afroeconomics. So when I'm creating a portfolio, I look at a wide range of factors, which includes the government's outlook for the future. And I know that they'll change. I mean, they will change their mind midway, and they'll say we're tightening, and the market will go crazy. And then they'll say, "Okay, I'm sorry, we're not going to tighten. We're not, we're not going to increase interest rates." And it's amazing to me when people will say, "Oh, capitalism, this, capitalism, that." But when I see obvious moves like that being done by regulators and by the Fed, like, no, 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 no. That's not capitalism. I don't know what that is, but that's not capitalism. That is, you're protected. And I think that we need to prepare psychologically that there is a false protection going on right now. And we need to make sure that monies that are in the stock market are monies that are for the long term, and money that you are going to need in the short term should be prepared accordingly. And sometimes you want to be more aggressive than you need to be, and as your advisor, I have a responsibility to explain to you your worst case scenario. So sometimes I'll say, a person might have say $1 million, and I'll go, how much money do you need to know you always have, that you always have? And they might say $1 million. And then I'll explain to them, well, you might want to consider, that we do something that will secure the $1 million, or understand the risk involved, or make sure we secure. But you really need to, think about, um, as when you're chasing returns, and a lot of people do that. They just chase returns, and and they'll look at something and how well it did last year and things like that, but they're not really thinking clearly. And I believe that that's where, having a financial advisor can really pay off for people. Having someone to run that by. And I believe that as a community, unfortunately, we have been out here by ourselves, you know, um, trying to figure it out. And people keep telling us, yes, that's the way it should be. You should figure it out. You should do it by yourself. Yes, you should. Yeah, you should. That's what you should do. And, because what? They're not in a position to help you. They just want to sell something. They just want to sell a book, or sell a little e-class, or sell a little, you know. No, you know what you need, and you search and get exactly what you need. Don't limit your goals and vision for yourself based on what someone else is capable of doing. If they're, not in a position to help you set up a stock portfolio or set up an investment portfolio, then go on and get yourself established on a greater level. Don't just limit yourself to, oh wow, well, they only do CDs, so I'm gonna do CDs for the next 20 years. You know, think about it. That mm, yes, you cannot. Someone said the federal employees cannot fight their employer. I've seen it happen though. I have seen it happen. And people try really, really hard, but it's like there are also people who they'll have an audit by the IRS, and the IRS will say, no, you can't do that. And they will argue against the IRS and actually get the law changed. If you can present that this is why it should be. Like there was a time, and I would think it was like that Ruth Ginsburg movie. Her husband was a tax law expert, and I'm fascinated with tax law. So when he brought to her a case about a white male being discriminated against because he was a nurse, and they would not allow him, because he was a man, to write off his nursing duties that he was doing, I think for his mother or family member or something like that. So her husband brought that to her and said, babe, look at this. And then when she brought the case as a male being discriminated against, it opened up them looking at women being discriminated against. Isn't that an amazing story? That is an amazing story. Like, but it took a man being discriminated against in order for them to discover that, oh, women are, you know what I mean? Women are being discriminated
Mm-hmm.
against. But
Mm-hmm.
so they saw the different scenarios, but she wasn't getting anywhere with the women. So it was like, wow. So, but because he went to that law firm, and got them to argue it, and then her husband turned it over, you know what I mean, to her to like pursue or use it as a, I think she could use it as a previous case or something. Like he won that case for him, and then she could, you know what I mean, as a preceding or something, whatever the term is. But that's interesting. So I guess I say that, oh, we can't fight the system, don't fight the system. But if it's wrong, you know what I mean? But if it is right, or that's how they do it, then that's how they do it. But if it is wrong, and why can't I do this and this is, you know what I mean? If it's because of your gender or your race, or, and you know that you're being discriminated against, then we do need to correct it. We do need to correct it. But it's not like, that guy that did it, nobody remembers him. That man who did the case that stood up and actually led the way, nobody remembers him. And that's something who I,
But that's on purpose, JB. That nobody remembers him.
right, right. Right? Hopefully he didn't want, yeah, he was like, look, y'all just leave me alone. I just wanted to write this off for my mom and, so let me move forward. But it is interesting. I feel that a lot of our heroes, your name may never be mentioned, but your work is still very necessary to do. And that's why I'm doing this topic tonight, because I'm hoping that just by talking about the Federal Reserve, about talking about to just us normal people, because sometimes when we're looking at business news and they go, Chairman Powell of the Federal Reserve spoke to Congress today. When you hear that again, you're gonna look at it totally different. Like, oh, he was going out there telling them about how much money he giving out. He's going to talk about oh Lord, that's when the market, when they'll say, and the market responded, blah, blah, blah. The chairman said that over the next year, so he did kind of project that we're going to see a big increase in interest rates. So what happens to interest rates because he says we're going to have a big increase? It already increases. It just increases. It increases. It's like, well, if you're going to do it anyway, then let's just go ahead, just get and do it and get it over with. So a lot of times I see that even though we're getting all this bad news with COVID, you don't really see the stock market responding a lot to the bad news about this new virus. It's
And
like,
and that's not new, JB. That's not new at all.
because it's not new. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, right. Yeah, the whole that it just hasn't responded that negatively to.
yes.
So what does that mean to us? To me, as an investor, it means we need to be handling our business and adjusting our finances accordingly, making sure that you are setting up a cash reserve, because there is going to be a market correction. Now, that's not to say if you have investments and they're in good companies, they're going to be in good companies, but a good company still, the price will go down. We can have dips. I'm expecting a dip. It's not within this year, it would be in the next, because assets, including the stock market, including homes, including bonds, are overpriced right now.
Mhm.
This is up. So it will correct eventually. Like, because they will stop being able to just pacify. Right now, we're just being pacified. Every time there's a problem, the government goes, oh, here, oh, here you go. Oh, no, no. So to keep giving into that, like one, I saw someone posted on Facebook, and they said, I gotta get me one of those auto locks for my car. Auto turn on, and he said, yeah. And I said, and then everybody was like, oh, yeah, you crazy. I got that. Oh, my, yeah, I don't even have to go. Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it. And everybody was like all on him. And he was like, okay, all right. And then I said, I get it. It's cold. But there is something to be said about taking the bitter with the sweet. There is something to be said about facing the cold, taking the ice off. You know what I mean? Doing what you got to do. Like at that, there's something to be said about the regulators getting out of the way And if the market is supposed to be down, let the market be down, because we know that we're not supposed to always be up. So what if the market, they're doing this and they're flooding all this money in here? What if this is stopping some of us from having buying opportunities?
Mm, how about that?
You see what I'm saying? Like, cuz what if it's like it's just inflated? Like somebody sitting there and they're like, "Really, this should be only at $20 a share and it's at 2,000." So, but this is, they're inflating it, and because of all this, that's just going on. So I'm just gonna wait for 20. But then every time it tries to get down, and then they go, "Oh, we're gonna so and so, we're gonna, do something else fake. We're gonna do something else fake." But who does something fake for the person getting evicted?
Nobody.
Who does something fake for them?
Nobody.
Do you see how much welfare is going to the top of the system? Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like with the
But
fire
you
with
would
the
look at,
fires and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you look at the little kid who's trying to get their little $250 credit to their mama. You know what I'm saying? And you have a problem with that. But you're making money and sending it to multi-trillion-dollar institutions. Making money. I mean, like, not making money. I'm saying making money. I mean making money. I mean printing. I mean making up money.
That's why the dollar is not what it's supposed to be
Making
worth right now. Yeah.
making up.
Yeah.
And look, but then they will argue, but if we don't do this, then where will they work? Well, where will they, well, a whole bunch of jobs. There's a whole bunch of black women who have not been able to get their job back that was cut out during the pandemic, that were in service industries, that were at restaurants, that were at hotels, that were, what I mean, that they have not brought them back. And now the unemployment is cut. And now you're sending the kids.
JB, I read that 41,000 black businesses lost their business
Yep.
in 2021.
Yeah.
41,000.
And more than that, because they said it was like 40%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that might have just been, but that was in 2020. So your 41,000 might have only been for 2021. Exactly.
That's what I
Whereas
said.
the
So yeah,
bulk of the hit was
2021.
already
Right.
of 2020,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
It's hard out here. It's hard out here. But we're taking the pain. And there's nobody, what I'm saying? The bulk, I don't, we're not getting any PPPs. I'm not getting any PPP.
Oh my God. I heard something about a dude. He had not the other one I told you about, but this is new.
Mm.
This dude, he bought Ferraris. He posted everything on social
You
media.
said not the other one.
Not the other
Isn't that sad?
one. Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
And then do you see the one about an NFL player that got PPP money,
Clinton Portis.
multiple millions? Yeah.
Clinton Portis. Yeah.
Oh, you heard that? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so sad. But at the same time, I believe that it was an attractive nuisance that was created. There
I
was an,
agree.
what I mean, a nuisance that was created to distract us from doing business the right way.
And you have to remember when they first came out with the PPP stuff and the vaccinations, they had you get money for taking the vaccination and all that
Yep.
stuff, all that
Yep.
stuff. Oh, like, come on,
All of that making you weak. All of that,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Teacher, I'm surprised they didn't hand out something to make you numb so that your arm won't hurt when you get the shot. Like, oh,
Yeah,
take this, and then you rub it on, and then you so we have to like go. We have to want to be strong because
absolutely.
it
Ask
will
questions. Ask questions.
ask questions, get what you want.
Ask questions.
Know that, you
Yes.
know what I mean? Know that the best way to build a business is one customer at a time, not one loan at a time. One customer at a time. When they used to try to get me to fill out stuff, I go, I'm too busy working to stop and fill out some loans. I'm going out there. I'm getting work. I'm doing work.
But
One
you were
client at a
attractive.
time.
You were attractive to them at that time, JB, because
Yep.
you're starting your business. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yo, but I'm talking about last year with PPP. Like,
Oh, okay.
I mean, there were
Yeah.
a whole bunch of institutions that were paid to go find businesses to do loans with them.
Mm.
And I believe some of those that did those fictitious businesses, I bet it wasn't even their idea to do the loan. You see what I'm saying? Because some of these companies were getting a percentage of the money. So
Of the
say
money.
they say they got $2 million. Somebody else did all his paperwork, and they probably got charged him say 100,000.
I
When he got
agree.
the money, the first 100 went to them. You
I
know what I mean?
agree.
And now he's going to jail. You
Right.
know what I mean? For some idea he didn't even think up on his own.
And the major benefactor is free and clear.
That's right. And
Free
they
and
got their
clear.
100. They
That's
good.
right. That's good. They're good. Yeah.
They're the ones that turn them in. They said, I think, and a lot of the financial institutions gave the people the loans and then turned them in.
And then turn them in.
And
Yes,
that's
they
why they
did.
could see every transaction they paid. Like that guy at Atlanta, they could see that he had paid his child support. He was back on it. That he had bought a car. That he had got some rings. That they saw everything because the bank that he did it with knew he was making it up from day one. And they
JB, I
let him.
remember when I was at Metro driving the bus, and I had a coworker, and he bought a new SUV, and he said child support just contacted me from like via my job. I said, "What happened? What changed in your life?" He said,
Right.
"I bought a car. I bought an SUV." I said, "That's how they got you."
Yep. They went in there. That Social Security got triggered. They said,
Yeah.
he's over here. We know where he works. That it's right. It's all connected.
All connected.
If you go in the hospital and you die, it is reported to the government before you can even get to the funeral home. They know
Before
they
you
know
get to
you're
the
dead. They
morgue,
know you're dead
baby. Before you get to the morgue.
before you get to the morgue.
That's right.
And so if you getting the check, they cut that off already. It's like you might get that check tomorrow. They're like, nope. Yep. And if they send it to you the next day, they want that family to send that check back.
Send it back. And they're gonna send you a letter telling you why you gotta
You
send
better
it
send it back.
back.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get y'all.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
It's terrible.
Oh, it's so sad. Yes,
It's
indeed.
terrible.
Exactly. Look. Miss Murphy said PPP stands for Please Pray People. I know that's right. I know that is right. That
That's
is so
right.
right.
That's
That is
right.
so right. That is so right. I just never felt good about it. But research said that a lot of our businesses just did not feel good about it. Like, and when we feel that way, we should stay away from it. We're still here.
So my question, JB, why did not black businesses stay away from it? If you know
Oh,
it
I
don't
know.
sound right, if you know it
That's
don't
right.
sound right,
Right.
why
Right.
not stay
Well,
away?
and a lot of the people that did do it, they have other jobs. So they really didn't even need the money. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right,
just like they were getting it for a side gig.
right.
And they just, that it's amazing. And
Okay.
I don't know. The local people in Richmond, Missouri are doing the same thing with PPP, creating businesses they never worked.
Anywhere. She said anywhere.
Yep, and they will pay. They will. They
They
said
will
they never
pay.
worked anywhere. You said don't forget the anywhere part. She said they ain't working nowhere.
Anywhere. Anywhere. That's
They
right.
thinking it. They thinking it's easy money, but it's not.
It's
How you
not.
doing,
It's
Mila?
really not.
No, right, right.
It's
Oh,
really
it's
not.
sad. It's so sad. But I want to say like the Federal Reserve Bank we need to know is based on 12 regional banks. They got 12 banks under them, that the whole system that it is there's a PDF. If you want me to, I have a PDF that I found that explains the system, but it doesn't explain. It just tells you about the bank, and it's just all the government data. But what we're talking about is the real, what is really going on. But sometimes when you just feel like it all across, in different regions, and all of the regular banks have to pay into the Federal Reserve Bank. So I know that in the information that I saw, and it could be changed any day, that each bank has to turn in at least 6% of their deposits. At least 6% of their deposits have to be with the Federal Reserve. So the bigger the bank, the bigger the control they have over the Federal Reserve.
So is the bigger bank the Internal Revenue Service?
So the bigger bank just has more influence with the board of the Federal
Okay.
Reserve. So like JP Morgan Chase is considered like the biggest bank in this country, then Bank America, so they're going to have like more voting rights and more influence, more, so
More
uh, with
info, right?
with what is done. But
Right.
what is kind of weird to me is, if they're already controlling the Federal Reserve, and remember back in 2008, why did we give these banks all that money? Remember those big checks that we wrote to the bank? And then we still did the easing and brought down interest rates. And then Obama still gave them like huge amounts of money.
Oh,
Like
oh,
they gave them basically like PPP loans,
right.
but they were paid. Yeah, the bank bailout.
The bank
Oh,
bailout. That's right.
that was when Andy said, y'all got to pay it back. Of course they got to pay. They can pay it back because what? Because then the Federal Reserve gave them more than enough money to pay it back. They came at the back. So you got the
And
money, then you got them easing up the interest rates and everything, and then they give you the money, and then you pay it back. What in the world?
and then before Obama did that, it was Bush in office, and Bush, right before he did his bank bailout, he gave out stimulus checks.
Not to us.
I got one.
Really?
I swear to God, I did.
From Bush.
Yes.
I don't know how I missed that. I missed that.
But I ain't get much, but I got it.
Really? That's so good. That's
Yeah.
good. That was probably a DC privilege or something. He probably like, this to my people in DC. Don't tell nobody, and definitely don't go on YouTube. There's somebody out like, what?
I got,
2008?
yeah, I got one. I got one.
That is
Yes, I
so. I
did.
don't know why I thought that, but you know what? I know you're right. The Star said, I think I got something for one of the presidents. But then Weta said
Yeah,
she got it too.
I,
Maya did
I
not.
remember getting. I remember getting something from somebody, and I was like, "What is this?"
Wow. But again, no,
That's
I
right.
probably did. I probably got more because my child was a minor back then. Like the I just probably ate that up so quick. I ain't even, what I'm saying? Like, duh, that's gone.
JB, I put it all in the bank.
That's so good.
I put it all in the bank.
That's so good.
Yes, I did.
We have to. We have to. We have to realize what I saw in one news report that they said that the reason that people are not working is because they still have savings from the unemployment and things like that.
Hmm.
So they're not. And I really hope that that's not true. I hope that they're like starting businesses and doing something else and using the money productively, and don't allow yourself to just run out of money. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. Like, and then you gotta go out there and accept any kind of job. Now, if you just take a job that you want, or do a job change, or look, because people are looking for you now. You can do something, so many different things, because there's opportunities now. People are open to training you. You might have always wanted to, whatever it is, do that. Like, follow your dream, follow your passion now, but don't just let your money run out.
And don't settle, JB. Don't settle.
Don't settle. Amen. Don't settle.
That's right.
Yeah. They might want to always
And
want it to
and
be
you
an
taught
ideal.
me that. You taught me that.
Oh, that's so positive. Yes, because we don't. And then I think the one of the biggest challenges is that we can't we don't see how we connect to the whole world. And that's why this discussion is so important, because we think that we're the only ones, like, for or like, all of us are hard working, not getting um most of not getting any type of social support. But we think that most black people, the social support that black people get, that it's something that white people don't get. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? These programs are designed for all people. Black people are not pulling down the system in some extreme fashion that we think. You know,
Right.
we all are in the same struggle. We are all in the same struggle. Like, and then if we could look at that and see, like, whoa, the Federal Reserve is getting over, you know what I'm saying? Or these big institutions are getting over on all of us. We can really change things together.
Amen. Amen,
We
JB.
can really change things together because we have more in common in our challenge than we have different.
Amen. Yes,
Isn't it?
indeed.
Isn't it?
Yes,
But
indeed.
but I believe politicians go out of their way to try to make us think that we're not, that we have things in common, because I believe that many politicians feel like they benefit from our conflict.
From the
And they,
division. From the
from the
division.
division.
Yes.
Yes, yes, they
Yes.
division.
Yes.
Where if we say, whoa, we're going to set up a movement, and it's going to be about all people who know that minimum wage needs to be increased to a livable wage, period. We can accomplish this together. But what have they done? They've turned it into a political issue. You know what I mean? Of which party going to do this and which party is going to do that, where neither party are
Is
doing
doing anything.
anything about it. Exactly,
Anything.
exactly, exactly.
Anything.
So we have to become bigger than that,
Yes.
and realize that together we're gonna make this thing. We're gonna make
Yes.
it. You know what I mean? And we have to realize that I want everyone to benefit from my commitment to excellence for everybody. Everybody. Yeah. So
Amen.
they do.
Amen.
So the some what things are affected, and take this home, and y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go and enjoy your night. What How the interest rates affect you personally, knowing that if the Federal Reserve increases interest rates, it's going to eventually hit your credit card balances. For anybody that has a credit card balance, anybody that has a variable interest rate on any of their cards, or a home equity line that's variable, it will eventually hit you.
I got a question, JB.
Hmm.
With the Fed, no matter who's the chair of the Fed, is it more of the same or does anything ever change?
Yeah, it's not political.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be like, oh, this person's a Republican or this person's a Democrat. Like, the yeah, because the same guy, Trump had Jerome Powell. I believe Biden has the same man.
And Obama had Janet, what's her name? The the
Yeah, yeah,
the
Janet Yellen
female.
or something like that.
Yes, the
Yeah.
yelling. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Yeah. They're not it's not supposed You're supposed to just like their monetary policy, or how they, you know what I mean, carry themselves. But
Okay, okay.
the politics does affect everything, right?
I
Mhm.
think it does. I hate that, but yeah, I think it does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Star said yes. That's a good point. She was asking about savings account interest rates. An increase in interest rates will help the conservative investor, because the conservative investor is struggling right now, because they're like, I don't want to be in stocks, I don't want to be in the market, but These things aren't paying anything. Nothing is paying anything for the conservative investor. So an interest rate, people used to be able to get CDs for 12% interest.
I remember that. I remember
Oh man,
that. Yeah, I remember that.
you know, used to be able, like, right?
Yeah.
And then we like so definitely holding interest rates down doesn't um benefit everybody. No, especially someone who's seeking security out of, and know that the Fed rate is not directly impacting your mortgage rates. So say you're trying to refinance and they say, well, the Fed meets tomorrow, so let's lock this rate in right now.
Like it's gonna change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't believe the hype. Your mortgages are connected more to treasuries than they are to the Fed rate. So be very careful if they do that. Tell them they need to do some reading. Exactly. But the but they eventually will kind of edge up together. But that they shouldn't say that, oh, because the Federal Reserve is doing that it's going to directly impact the mortgage rate, so we're going to charge you more tomorrow. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Mhm.
They can do whatever they want to do, and that's sad. The um and also for people like purchasing cars and things like that, if interest rates are continue to go higher, it will affect the price. If you're a car payment person, we're trying to move away from that. We all gonna drive old paid for cars. Look, we have the Afro economic section. They're gonna be all like hoopties. They're gonna be
Classics.
paid.
No, they're
No,
gonna be
they'll be
classics.
classic.
Classics.
Classics. That's right, classics. Look, look, we gonna have money though.
That's right.
I
That's
would rather
right.
you have money in your account in an old car than have no money in your account in a new car payment. Like we gonna move right on past that.
Ain't
Right
nothing.
on past that.
There is nothing sexy about pretty and poor.
Isn't it true? Isn't it the truth? Isn't it the truth? But they think it is. I know. Isn't
Yeah.
that true? That gets old quick, even when you're young, pretty and poor.
I've heard someone say it's not sexy to be it's not sexy to be broke either. It's not sexy to be in debt.
No,
Eyeball.
not at all.
Not at
That ain't
all.
sexy. Look,
Not at
and then
all. Not even a little bit.
right, right, and then one guy told me, he said that, if he meets a woman, he always checks her tires. Do you do that, Mr. Jones?
I take the credit.
Oh, that and
I
the
look at
look,
I
look,
look
look,
at
and
what
the
kind of car.
fingerprint. Put your hand right here, girl.
I look at what kind of car they have. If they got an old beat up, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm like, okay, he can buy me a stick or
That's
something,
right. That's right.
If he got an
That's
older
right.
vehicle, if they got a
Okay.
newer vehicle, I'm like, no, keep it moving.
That's a woman thing. I wouldn't know nothing about that. I look at the credit.
Yeah, I
That's
look at
right.
the car. It
That's right.
have an
But
older car.
but you know why he checked the car? Why he checked her tires?
Tell me why. Enlighten me. Yeah.
Because he was saying, like, if a woman doesn't have any money, she's not gonna get her tires changed.
Okay,
She's just not, like, what I mean. Her cars. So he's just like, I know she ain't got no money, and then she gonna need me.
just to
Maybe
buy
it was some
time.
whore that he went through, but he was like, she gonna need me to help her get some tires because I'm not gonna want her riding around. You
Like
know what I'm
that.
saying?
Like
That's
that.
yeah, on
That's
some
right.
slippery tire. Look,
That's
she ain't got
right.
no. Look, wouldn't it be funny if he went up to it with the quarter? Let me check, girl. No, you
And the
ain't got
cord
no.
just slide on off.
Yeah, no tread. I don't know what to tell you.
That's
So
funny.
women,
That's
be
funny.
careful. Spend your money on your tires, not your nails. Look, not your
Okay.
nails. Be safe. This one client showed me the other day. She said, "Girl, I ain't spending no more money at them nail shops." She said, "You got." She said she got some of those like clip on. Like they just clipped. She said they've been on 3 weeks. Please, please don't pull them off. She said, I promise I won't. I was like, I don't know how to take them off. She's like, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. But she was just impressed how much money she saved,
Mhm.
by just getting those clip-ons from the drugstore. And they looked perfect.
Mhm.
So I was watching a news story this morning. Yeah, press on. I was doing clip on.
I was thinking it was something new. I was thinking clip-ons was something new. I'm like, I gotta look into those. I was getting ready to Google clip-on nails.
Hey man, stop. Y'all so bad. Y'all just mean to me. Exactly. Oh, Twyla said, thank God my dad worked at Goodyear, former rubber capital of the world. I know that's right. He said he kept you with nice tires. That's how he got you married off. I know. Thank you for telling me it was press on though. I said clip on, clip on nails.
I was gonna look it up.
Exactly. I know
Clip-on nails.
you want some clip ons.
I was gonna Google a clip-on nail. That's something new. I gotta see
Look at
this.
it. I'll make up whatever name I want, right?
Did
We're
you
gonna
ever
come out.
clip on? Did you ever clip on clothespins when you were little on your finger?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We coming out with our clip-on nails. Paula
Oh,
said,
oh,
"I'll
I
get
ain't
an
miss,
old
I know,
car."
no, I ain't miss nothing. I ain't miss nothing.
Look, Paula said she gonna get an old man and a fast car. I know that's right. That's right. That's code red right there.
Wait a minute. No, she said the opposite. She gonna get an old car and a fast man. She got an old car and a fast man. Psych, psych.
Oh my God, y'all are funny. That was funny.
What did I say?
You said the opposite. I just came back in. I stepped out.
Oh my God! That is so funny. Stop. But look, if y'all weren't here, I would have said it, and everybody at home would have said, "Lord, JB said that backwards." She said it best. She said it back. But look. And Mr. Jones, he's like, whatever.
I'm
It's
giving
an
like my Stovey. I'm
old
giving like my
car
Stovey.
and a fast. I said a fast car. You know, I know I am, Miss Murphy. I'm on a roll. Lord, yes. Twila talking about a Honda. Yeah, that's the old car.
Yep, that's the way to
He
go.
the fast man. He gonna be Manute Bolt. What's that? The guy's
I would tell you this though. A Yugo was fast. You remember
you
Yugos?
go. As long as it stick. As long as it stick. Right, Chris? Anything is fast to me as long as you got a stick shift. You do a 4-cylinder with a stick shift, it will move. It will move. At least look. At least you feel like it. You be
Uh-huh.
like, you feel like you are going fast. Everybody, look, everybody's
You
still
making a
passing.
you making a lot of noise, but you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Uh, I, I think that's what Michael was thinking the other day when I was like, I was trying, and I said, "Oh, I am really moving." He was like, "Yeah, right." He said, "What?" I said, "This Jeep is going." And my Wrangler is stick shift. I was like,
Oh, you got a stick shift. You got a stick shift.
yeah. And
Oh
that,
my
I
God.
mean, it was culture shock when I got the Jeep because I was in a S class Mercedes and I said I want something different. So when I got the Jeep, I thought it was broken. I said, oh my, I think something's wrong. I said, oh, it's something. Look. I said, it's something wrong. It makes all this noise. It's like, I mean, you hear everything, and then now it's so normal. But you those luxury cars like y'all got, you go toot toot. and it gets quiet. Like it's quiet. Like
Is it running? It's
and that
like
in my Jeep, you hear everything. You air like, and at least it's not cloth top. It's hard top. If it was cloth top, it would be even louder.
Oh,
That is funny. I mean, that is funny. But I said something's wrong.
that
Something,
was a
I
big
think it's
adjustment,
broken.
huh?
Yeah, it was such an adjustment. Yeah. And then you just used to like hitting the accelerator and taking off. I had to,
that was a downgrade for you, JB.
yes. But not in my mind. Look, I always, and that's the only thing that matters. As I always wanted a Jeep Wrangler so I could take the top off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just drive. And I wanted the two-door. And so I did it. I was like, so to me it was
Why
like
not the why not the four door? Why
I
just the
know
two
it just
door?
looked too much like I don't
Work.
know, but the two door is just the bomb. The four-door is just it looks like a Cherokee or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just a regular vehicle. But that
Right.
four-door is hot though when you take all the doors off and the top off and but that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
But
work. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
one time we took it all of one time. I think Michael was like, "Okay, that's
I'm
nice.
tired. I'm tired.
You ain't going nowhere. After you get it all off, you're too tired." Yeah, it's like look. Miss Murphy said it's an army truck. Yeah, that's what they are though.
That's
Remember
pretty
those
much what
army
it
jeeps?
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the Jeep Wrangler. Girl, I'm ready. I'm ready. Y'all can't tell me. You can't tell me. And I got my sticker on it. Black Wolf Matters and everything. Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Y'all gonna see me one day. Do, 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 do. You're like, that's JB. Look. Paula said, Usain Bolt. Thank you for hearing what I said. I said I'm gonna hook her up with Usain. I called him. What did I call him? Usain or something? I don't know. Oh my goodness. She loves. Look, she said she loved Bruce Jenner. Girl, he
Caitlin,
is
Caitlin,
God. Bruce
Caitlin.
is God. Bruce is
let,
God.
let me say this, and Dave Chappelle said it best. Only in America can a white man be selected as Woman of the Year.
Only in America. That's right.
Only
Wow.
in America.
That's right. And he's very look, and Bruce is very good at it too. Look, represent. He probably wears shoes I don't want to wear. Bruce be like wearing them high heels. I be like, you got it, Bruce. Low.
Mm,
Go, Bruce, go. Oh,
mm,
Caitlin.
mm.
I know. That's so true. He said only in America.
Only in America.
There goes JB. Doors off. That's right. Doors off. Doors off, Miss Murphy. Yes, indeed. I ain't mad at him. Amen. Only, she said, look at Miss Murphy
Oh,
said, oh, Miss Murphy, you back.
oh God. Oh
Oh,
God.
my. I hope he say that. He was when y'all just hating because he won. But Bruce, yeah, Bruce does. Bruce knows.
Mm.
Well, he does when Paula has a chance then. Because Twyla said Bruce likes women. So then Paula, red alert, you have a chance. Amen. Maybe he's watching. Wouldn't that be something just go viral? Bruce and Paula
They
get
all
together.
look. They all listening.
Exactly. Bruce and Paula, if y'all get together, make sure you keep me, and you know what I mean, in the loop. I ain't mad at you. That was Mr. Jones that said that. I did not laugh. I did not participate in any way. Bruce, yes indeed.
And I quoted
Bruce,
somebody else, so leave me alone.
exactly. And it wasn't your fault. He coming. He's like, I know where you live. What's up, man? You want some of this cigar? Look, you try to get that, and knowing you and him end up besties.
No.
You be Friday, you and him been over there chilling with 3 women.
Does it like him?
You were like, Dave, he does like women. That's right.
Oh my
All
God.
right. Well, I love y'all.
Love you
Let's
too,
have a
JB.
great, great
Love
week.
you
Thank
too.
you. Thank you so much.
I won't
Think
be making it Friday, JB. I'm gonna be out. I got an appointment Friday, so I
Enjoy.
well, will
won't be
not be the same without you. I think we'll just not have it. Nope. Nothing
there.
Friday. Right, Miss Davis? Miss Davis sitting over there. You know what? We needed this laugh, y'all. With
Yes.
such a serious topic as the Federal Reserve, we needed to make sure that we laugh through 2022 because, they say that mental health is one of the major problems that people are having through COVID. It's
Right.
like 40% of the people are,
Depressed.
yes,
A
Hmm.
or
lot. It's a lot of stuff going on, and I thank
substance
you. I
abuse.
thank you, JB, for having this first meeting of 2022 on a Wednesday.
Hmm.
Amen.
Yeah.
I
I'm
agree.
glad. I'm
Yes.
glad. I'm glad. Love you back, Miss Fleming. Love you. Yes, we have to keep going, and we have to laugh to keep from crying.
Hmm.
All the
We have a
time.
lot to. We have a lot more to be happy about than we have
Yes.
to be sad about.
Right.
And reach out to each other. And if you ever feel that you can't, like, I had a member to call me tonight, and the brother is really going through it. Really going through it. And he said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. His family is falling apart. But you know what? We gotta be there for each other.
We can
Yes.
be we can be his extended family.
Yep. We are
There it
his
is.
family. Yes,
That's it.
indeed. Yes,
There it is.
indeed. We feel like, yeah, I think people feel alone, but they don't have to be. They don't have
Look,
to be.
especially when you're not. You're really not
Amen.
alone.
Amen. But it takes a lot to be here, like you and Star, Miss Davis, and Mike. Like, it takes a lot. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't want to share themselves with the world. Um, Unfortunately, when you share yourself, then you become a target. And but at the same time, I believe that when you share yourself, you get blessed. You
Yes.
have to be a blessing to get, you know what I mean, to get blessed. It's a blessing to be a blessing. So I hope that, each of you will just be blessed for being so generous with your time and with your feedback. It really makes a difference to the people at home. Let them, laugh at us.
Hmm.
That takes a lot.
Laugh at ourselves, JB.
Laugh
Yeah.
at ourselves.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed that hard in a minute. Like, that was laughing. And I was laughing so hard I didn't want to laugh that hard. That's so sad. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I look. I'm laughing too hard. That's the ugly laugh. You be on you be on video. I know Michael tell me afterwards, you laughed so hard you were looking, oh my God, that laugh face. You gotta work on that laugh face. Some people, I mean, we are just so programmed to kind of hold back. So
Yeah.
thank you, Star, for making me just
Yeah.
laugh.
Be
Let's let it
yourself.
out.
Be
Right?
yourself.
Right? I
Yes.
might get romantical with my husband tonight. After I laughed that hard. Mr. Joe's like, what?
I was no. I'm like, is she gonna make that a word, romantical?
Yeah. That's a new word.
We should use
Romantical.
Look,
that.
put
We
it
And
should
put
don't
it
be
use
right
trying
up
to
that.
there.
and don't be trying to use it. Don't be trying to use
Look,
it. Come
put
on,
it
girl.
right up. Put it right up there with diabetical. He's a diabetical. He's a diabetical.
Exactly. Exactly. Amen. Romantical, medical. Amen. And beautiful.
a, a
They all
beautiful,
same
a
thing.
beautiful, romantical, diabetical, pharmaceutical.
All of the
Experience.
above.
All the
I am
above.
all of the above,
Experiential. Exactly.
and that's what it is.
And look, And that's what Steve Harvey does. And look how famous he is.
Oh my
Why
God.
can't I? I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. Make my own words up too.
You know what? Steve Harvey to me is a independent contractor because he works for many late
And
and stations, but he
yeah,
works for himself.
yes, that's him. He's not stuck at any network
And
or
any
anything. You know,
network or anything.
that's
Him,
right.
Ice Cube. It's so many of them that do that.
Yeah, yep.
Mhm.
That's gonna be you. That's gonna be you.
God damn it, you better
That's,
believe it.
that's gonna be you. But don't,
I'm
but don't be going out there saying I'm the romantical man. I'm romantical. Look, you be
I'm the diabetical, romantical, eccentrical.
love right here. Storyteller.
Oh,
Amen. Love letter writer.
Good night, ladies.
good
Good
night.
night now. Have a good one.
All
Y'all be
right, be
good.
safe.
Thank you so much. Stay inspired. Bye bye.
Amber lamps.